Today I want to show you how to make the chili from the chili cheese fries recipe from the Choose You Now diet. Now I do not saute with oil, so I am preheating the pot. It's really important to make sure it's really hot before you put the onion in. That's one of the secrets to sauteing without oil. So it's hot now, I could hear it sizzling. I've dropped a little liquid in there and that's how I know. So I have one full red onion diced. And the key with sauteing onions without oil is now I'm gonna let them sit, and I'm gonna let them heat up and start the cooking process. And you'll see you don't even need to add any liquid because there's enough coming out of the onion itself. If the pan starts to get dry, you could add a little bit of water, or I like to use the low sodium vegetable broth, which we're gonna use in the recipe anyway, but you could do it with any recipe. You wanna get them brown and caramelized, but you don't want them to burn. So my biggest tip is don't leave the pot. That's where you can get in trouble. If you walk away, they're gonna burn. You can see that they're starting to glisten. And a little bit dry, I'm gonna add just a dash of liquid. Okay, so once you've got them to the level you want, you're gonna add the next ingredients. So right now we've got a red bell pepper and a jalapeno diced. And I try to make everything about the same size. That's the most important part so that it cooks the same, but also for the texture. Especially in this chili, this is a kind of different type of chili. It's not that beany. It's got tofu is gonna be like one of the main ingredients. So now you wanna just let the vegetables soften. So give that a minute. I'm gonna add a drop more broth. Okay, now we can add the spices. Okay, so we're adding 2 cloves of garlic minced. Here's where all of the flavor comes from. This is a whole blend of spices. There's cumin and chili powder and ancho powder and oregano and all sorts of deliciousness. What else is in here? We've got coriander and cumin and smoked paprika. You get that smoky flavor. So now it's gonna start to smell really yummy in here. Let's stir that all together, get everything cooking. The key to chili also is cooking it for a long time, because the longer it cooks and swelters together and marinates, the flavors marinate, the more flavorful it gets. So I basically took a big old thing of super firm tofu and I crumbled it up, and it's gonna give you this really interesting texture that I was trying to describe. So that's tofu, and of course you're getting all your essential amino acids and all this wonderful stuff, omega-3 fatty acids, super healthy. And then we're gonna add a can of low sodium, or I have no sodium chickpeas, a can of no sodium kidney beans. Now these are Chipotle's in adobo sauce. With the adobo sauce, gives it a real smoky, earthy, fabulous flavor. So then we're gonna do tomato paste. So I love this one because there's no salt added. So you get all of the umami deliciousness of tomato paste with none of the salt. The umami flavor is so helpful when you're eating, especially on a plant-based diet, but it's really a good flavor that we kind of often underlook. And then we're adding some crushed tomatoes. So I like this one too because it also doesn't have salt added. I always look for no salt added. That's really important. So there's the crushed tomatoes. We're gonna get a lot of. So the vitamin C in the tomatoes are gonna help the iron be absorbed from the beans. So it's kind of like this synergistic, beautiful thing that happens here. And it also helps with the absorption. There's some fat from the tofu is gonna help with the absorption of things like the carotenoids or the fat-soluble nutrients like A, D, E, and K. We have lots of vitamin A in here. And that's it. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. It's gonna get really thick, but it's gonna take a long time. So we're gonna let this sit. I'm gonna come and check on it every few minutes, maybe every 10 or 15 minutes. Let it simmer for 30 minutes. So when it goes to boiling, then you're gonna turn it down and cover. So it's starting to boil, so I'm going to lower the temperature to medium and I'm going to cover. And now we wait. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. The house smells incredible and it is nice and ready. And here is the chili, nice and thick. All the flavors have melded.